Join us today for another practice with Callie, my 8-year-old student who has been playing tennis for 1.5 years at the time of this video. I'm trying to go through all my old footage first before we get to the present, but if you're curious, this is a short clip of a recent practice with Callie. This is after another year of improvement from the clip prior. I'm excited to go through some of the practices that I've recorded over the last year to document and narrate some of the thinking behind Callie's tennis journey. For this practice, we're going to use orange balls. This typically means that we have some kind of tournament coming up, so we're reacclimating Callie back to the dimensions and traits of the orange ball. Generally, for juniors at this age, they're going to be switching through a variety of ball types, and many times they will end up practicing and competing with different balls. So for example, in our last video, we were playing on green ball. Green balls are faster and bounce higher, so therefore the footwork, reaction time, and technique all have to be sharper. Our strategy was that for most sessions, Callie and I are going to be training on green ball. When she is about to play a tournament, we'd switch back to the orange for a session or two. While green ball is the best way to challenge her, orange is fantastic for working on point construction or when we needed to slow things down to work on specific things. So here we are, back to our orange ball practice, and we're starting off with rallies down the middle. You can tell she is used to full court as she overshoots her first couple of balls. But as she acclimates and adds a little bit more spin, she starts getting these balls in. To help you guys understand orange ball a little better, let me pause and outline the dimensions of the court on Callie's side. It's a little bit funky because I'm drawing 2D lines over 3, but this should give you an idea of how much smaller the orange ball court is. Here is the official illustration from the USTA website. The green and yellow are simply standard sized courts. The orange ball court is shrunk just a little bit from the full-sized court, but don't forget that the doubles alley is included as well. In other words, the singles orange ball court is just simply this sized. As for the red, it is a quarter-sized court, and the kids will be playing across each other in this way. So after a couple points in the middle, we're going to transition into cross courts. Generally, you don't want to hang out too much down the middle because it's pretty unrealistic in match conditions and it tends to make your stroke flatter. You can see in the beginning she struggles a bit to create angles, but as she gets used to the cross court, she begins cutting off the angle a bit better and puts more shape on the ball. Don't forget the orange ball court is not as wide, so the angles cannot be as sharp. Watching this now, I can see that overall her forehand in this period of time still lacks shape and topspin. It's something that we have worked over the course of a year, focusing on the technique and looseness of her wrists. Here's a quick slow-mo comparison between her forehands, just a year apart. It's subtle, but you can see a more defined wrist action and greater emphasis on spin. But regardless of technique and mechanics, what is a tennis player without this? It doesn't take a coach to see that there isn't much footwork going on, and if she wants to reach further heights, then this needs to improve the most. Granted, I will give her an excuse. Callie is very competitively motivated and she does bring it when there is something on the line. That being said, how you play in match is always a reflection of your practice. If your footwork is used to being on and off, I promise that the very same thing is going to happen in match. Footwork needs consistency and constancy. Let's take a quick look at Callie in present day, chasing down every ball she can in this point. Over the course of this year, she has made massive strides in footwork, and while there is a lot of skill expression in it, early on the most important facet of footwork is mentality. The system that I have for Callie is that footwork is a decision, one that is not made by me. I can teach you how to move better, but I will not nag and yell for it. There's going to be a baseline level that is required to practice with me, but my main goal is to make her slowly realize herself how impactful the footwork is. I wanted to make it a logical decision as opposed to emotional, which is what it tends to get when coaches and parents yell at you for it. It's my philosophy that giving the kids this kind of agency empowers them so that when they slowly come to realize how important footwork is in relative to winning, they're going to bring it themselves and not because I told them to. There's just always going to be a difference between being forced to do something versus making the decision yourself. Now, you definitely want to consider your kid's personality to determine the correct pathway, but for us, this worked very well. It's actually a little bit funny because she was always a bit difficult to get moving during practice for the first 2 years. And over the course of this last year, she turned it around completely. And like I said, I never forced it on her. I made my stance very clear day one. Just one day in practice, I saw that she was always ready and moving constantly. And at first, I thought it was a one-day thing, but from that day onwards, she just always brought the footwork. And while footwork itself is important, it's the mentality to do it that extends everywhere else. The maturity, the discipline, the focus. And so this was a giant shift for her tennis. And as her coach, I'm just very proud of her. So with that, we're moving on from our cross courts. One thing I noticed in her last tournament was that she missed a couple of those high sitting balls that land near the service box. And so now that her forehands are warmed up, I'm going to teach her how to put away these type of balls. Generally, you can't get too complicated when teaching juniors. You want to keep it very simple and intuitive. So what I told Callie was that for normal shots, your swing path naturally curves from inside to out. This slight curve is natural because of the way our body rotates. This itself is not new to her. We have talked about this previously. Now, when dealing with high balls, you're going to do the opposite. You're swinging from outside to in. This naturally makes your contact point more in front of you. Whereas your normal shot will have a nice arc, hitting from the outside to in makes the ball go downwards more. You do not have to aim down, just go through the ball. Now that you have a simplified explanation, I do want to show the process of trial and error. She starts off getting a swing path mostly correct, but waits a little too long. And it's not really her fault, she has to work through some muscle memory. Prior to this, I've told her that any high balls that come her way, just wait for it and hit waist level. Orange ball does not bounce high enough to punish you, and I'd rather hit the same shot and keep things simple. As she is starting to get more success in competition and is practicing a lot more green ball, learning this shot now makes much more sense. After a couple attempts, she is starting to hit at the correct height, but the problem now is that she is hitting under the ball too much, causing the ball to sail. But it doesn't take much longer for her to get the first correct execution. It does take her another couple of shots to replicate this, and I show her a quick demonstration. In this specific case, I am hitting down a little bit, but this is rare. You aren't going to get this close to the net like this. Focus on the outside to in and going forward through the ball. So I'm going to speed up the video a bit. It takes some more time for her to really put the elements all together, but her process of trial and error eventually leads to her best shots so far. From that shot onwards, it really starts to click for her. And it goes to show that once the puzzle pieces finally come together, the tennis really flows. You can tell that she is starting to get pretty confident. Maybe too confident. Apart from that crash out, she is starting to get it. I wouldn't consider this match ready quite yet, but we have set a solid foundation for this specific type of ball. Or maybe not. But apart from her silliness, she hits one more perfect forehand, and then we decide to move on to backhands. So if you look carefully, Callie is accidentally slicing her two-handed backhands. In this practice, we were still in the early stages of transitioning out of the habit, and not only that, there are some considerations that we have to work around. With the tournament coming up a week after this practice, we couldn't be too aggressive with our changes. Any major changes are going to introduce doubt and hesitation into her swing. She was starting to get some good results, and I wanted her to continue that momentum. Therefore, for this practice, I'm not really going to make her overthink, and instead just let her instincts guide her. The only major verbal cue I had for her was to focus on topspin, no other explanation. And however she adjusts is just what we'll take to the tourney. The most important thing for her is to play freely. This drill is a simple backhand lob rally. I suspect that one of the reasons that Callie was slicing was because she was compensating for bad positioning on high balls. This drill is excellent for this specific problem because you really emphasize the topspin and high arc, while simultaneously working on positioning against the high balls. Now in the end, she does overcome this habit, but that was a journey in itself. I'm actually in the middle of working on a video specifically on this topic where we go into a more analytical lens in understanding why this was happening while game planning solutions and drills. So be on the lookout for that. If you want to follow Callie as she tries to fulfill her dreams to be a pro tennis player, be sure to like and subscribe. As we finish up our drill, I give her a little bit more freedom to just now hit on the outside court, allowing slices, regular topspin drive balls, and inside outs. Overall, it's pretty steady, and that's all we really need heading into the tournament. And in classic Callie fashion, she does this.
Wait, how much did I miss it?
So now that we're coming towards the end of practice, we invite Linda, Callie's mom, to come join us. Let me tell you, when kids play with their parents, they get really competitive. Some of you may be asking, how about serve and returns? And yes, we are going to play some points together. Callie's serve is one of her greatest strengths, as you'll see soon. At this specific time, it's in a stable state, so she just needs to fire a couple for practice. For juniors, I'm a big proponent for keeping the serve simple and fundamental. As you can see, we don't have too much going on for the serve. All our work is mostly on clean pronation and how to spin while pronating. By focusing on the most important portions of the serve, she can get easy access to spin and power without too much difficulty. Now, obviously, as she gets older, the rest of the kinetic chain needs to continue improving as well, but for now, this is a good foundation. And with that, our practice comes to a close. If you're curious about how Callie started her tennis journey and the story behind this channel, check out our first video. There will be more videos coming soon. I'm super excited to share with you guys the progress we've been making over the past year. See you guys next time.